Well, so we have the newspapers ready now, and we will want you to know what the stories are on the front and back pages.
Yeah, obviously what is trending today, newspapers picking up, is Nayeli cocaine suspects freed. And you would know that when the case was ongoing, at least when we thought there was a case, you see the suspects covering their faces and all, but now they're boldly showing off. So there's Naneki Amponsa, Abubakar Ahmed, Theophilus Kisi, Abel Ashite Ama, and Sadala Nuhu. 6 of the persons who the state now says we didn't have a case after all, so they are now free persons. We've been asking a lot of questions as to what they could do, because now they're making the things that people still reported on them. When you go on the internet, you still can find, and that would stay for like forever, isn't it? So what can they also do to redeem, you know, their image, if you like? But maybe they are excited about this. NPA pays arrears to BDCs. This story, the BDCs will tell you that they still owe them, but the fact is they will not come out public now. So why do I also have to drum what they will not say? It's none of my business. Minority chastises government for buying luxury cars for power projects. But that's not all, because Otine J returned the luxury vehicle, at least one of them per what the minority is now saying. Katie Hammond, they were on radio yesterday, and for the first time, Dr. Otine J spoke to Joy FM and made those revelations that are startling. He hasn't been in government for a while now, right? Yes. And he took the vehicle because he said he moved to the Agric ministry, I think, and they couldn't, the resources there were not that much. So he spoke to the energy ministry.
The Ministry of
Environment, right? Okay. And then they decided that, okay, yeah, go with the vehicle. But the other thing I was expecting, and I really wanted to hear, but that was the Ministry of Environment. So when you were going home finally, why did you decide to take it with you?
And apparently, according to Katie Amoni, he still has in custody a VW Phaeton. Yeah. So we'll see how that
But
goes.
One more question for the good doctor. Why did you have to wait for somebody to talk about it and for the newspapers to start reporting it? Because he said that he had read a Daily Guide report. Somebody had prompted him.
That's
why he's returning. Yeah.
It's the media report that prompted
exactly. Him. So all those officials who have state properties, we're prompting you, since it is reports and our talk that will prompt you to return, like bring back our assets, hashtag it, please. Back page.
Hashtag and things.
I'll do quickly the back page of the Daily Graphic now. 4 theaters shut down at Tamale Teaching Hospital. We tweeted that extensively here on Joy News yesterday. And Harvey residents appeal for sea defense wall. This is close to my hometown, and it's not good news at all. I mean, shouldn't officials know we have an MP, we have a municipal chief executive, and what they do, I tell you what, is when these things happen, they just take a tour. I mean, go to Anyami, you would see it. They would take a tour, a year, 2 comes, and the situation would still persist. Do you want the water to wash the whole town before you know that it's an emergency? Please, show some leadership. Especially in Keta.
If you go to the developed countries, they rather want to build along the sea. And for us, the buildings we have close to the sea have been ravaged by time.
I'm disappointed, seriously. That's our hometown, man. If we're moved from Accra, if you know, we have no places in Accra, it's our hometown that we will go to. So if the seawater is washing the places where we call home, that should be a big worry to all of us. And we've got leaders there, please. Act.
All right. So on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have Otine J returns vehicle as minority accuses government of misusing funds, and apparently the Ghanaian Times has a picture of the vehicle, and you can see there it is a Lexus LX 570. Very plush, I tell you.
Shit. So was he inspecting electrification projects, you know, when the vehicle was with him?
It says the Lexus is equivalent of Toyota Land Cruiser.
Yeah, but the vehicle was bought for a certain purpose. Yeah. And it's not over yet. The project is still underway.
You know, he's an expert in the area. So even as he's not in government, I'm sure he's still...
consulting?
Well, still has interest in the way the project could be going.
I'm interested in how they are monitoring the project, though, because, you know, if they were not using the vehicle for a very long time.
So that's a vehicle. For those of you who haven't seen that.
Were we fueling it as well? I'm just asking.
For those of you who haven't seen the Lexus before, just get onto the principal street of Accra. You'll see these cars there up and down. All right. If it's a government vehicle, it should have been registered with a green number plate, right?
Oh, yeah, but the green is very recent.
Well,
You remember they are turning it to green now, so not all the government vehicles will have that number.
oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know some of them that are still the white one?
Yeah. Yes, quite a
All
number.
right. The main story on the front page of the Ghanaian Times is tidal waves hit Keta area. And you see my former boss, who is the MP for the area, Richard Koshiga, Sarah and I were told, according to the tag there of the picture,
Inspecting
at the tidal waves.
Would inspection fix the problem?
Apparently 352 people have been rendered homeless. Nayeli gang acquitted. That's a side story. And we have 2 foreigners caught shoplifting and stop collecting doomsor levy from patients, according to governments. And I think government also need to end the doomsor so that the hospitals don't find alternatives as to how they can cater for their patients. Because really, they're spending a lot of money on fuel for their generators. Back page is about sports, and it says tough test for Kotoko. And Hans is about the midweek matches for the First Capital Plus Premier League. And those are the stories we have. On the front page of the General Telegraph, it is a story about President's State of the Nation address. And according to the lead story, must focus on power crisis and public demands radical restructuring of VRA Akosombo Bui operations. Down there we have hospitals in the Ashanti region threatened to turn away NHIS card holders. We have other stories as well. Back page, Ash Gold Lions clash today, and the story is by Gad Annan. Sorry there for the mix-up. We have Mr. Gomez. Gomez is directly there. He's the one controlling these things there.
So if there's a mess-up, it is not us. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay,
No,
is your account still in red?
You mean my money?
Your private account.
I don't have any money in that.
so it's gone below red.
Actually.
Okay. What I want to say is that
things have been debited in there. That's when the money hits it, the all clear.
Okay, you're not alone apparently.
Sure.
Because government accounts in red.
Oh, really?
That's what
you mean government checks are bouncing? Because if I give a check today to somebody to bounce, I'll be debited with.
I hope you don't owe anybody there. Well, Kweku Hajimamenu is saying that government is broke, the account is actually red. But Setekwe describes the claim as laughable. You can read the details, is in page 3. Is it a case of back and forth?
But I've known a contractor before who was given a check, and the check
a government check?
Yes.
Recent?
I think that was a few months ago.
Okay, well. Also on the front page of the Chronicle.
Well, later he collected the money though, but at the time that he was told to go, the guy with the check.
Homado cited in Asontaba, others 433 million Ghana cedis rots. State frees cocaine suspect and NPP invested telecom cash in energy sector. Comes with a picture of Dr. Anthony Akutose. I don't know, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? But considering that we're still in crisis, I guess that investment didn't yield any result, did it? Back page of the Chronicle, Ayariga buys club, says it's not conflict of interest. So this paper reveals that the Minister of Youth and Sports, Mahama Ayariga, has confirmed to the media that he was in the process of acquiring Division 1 club Tamale All Stars. And this is a quote. It says, yes, we are in the process of taking over Tamale All Stars, which we are transferring to Boko. And in fact, I have applied to the GFA for the name to be changed to Boko.
And he's a sports minister.
Unquote, yes. You know, I think today's Wednesday, yeah? Was it Monday or Friday? There were talks and there were reports that he was going to be either fired or replaced or something of the sort. Is that in limbo? Is the president really taking action? Or, you know, there's a little break on it because the media picked it up too quickly.
I think those are just speculative stories. They've not been confirmed. So
okay, so the other sports stories Roland read out, so that's it for the Chronicle.
Front page of the Daily Guide has a story, Ruby Cocaine Gang freed, and the freed is in white and red. And then we also have Minister grabbed 2 luxury cars, Katie Hammond, and he returned the Lexus LX, I believe 570, but apparently he still has in his custody. We're told by Katie Hammond, not me. Phaeton, and this one is an exclusive edition, customized. I don't know whether he has a customized one or not. But according to Evan Spencer on Joy FM, he spoke to him and he says if anybody has any difficulty and he feels that he's done anything unlawful, please head to the court. Okay.
Yeah.
I think so too.
You know that this Lexus, this 4x4 was also...
Lexus.
That's how it's pronounced?
Well, I think we all do our pronunciations.
Okay.
I'm imposing my pronunciation.
So I'll stick to mine. No, thank you.
Lexus.
I'll say Lexus. I mean, it sounds like nicer. In my mouth, at least.
Sounds romantic.
Considering it was Katie Hammond who said it and who mentioned his name, and yes, indeed, he had the vehicle. So a lot of people would want to believe that this saloon car is also with him because Katie Hammond said so.
I believe if you get the inferences from the media, especially Joy FM, spoke to him, he's not denied it.
Yeah.
He says if you have any difficulty, please head to court.
Yeah. He also said that he still lives in a government bungalow.
Oh, he does?
Yes, he does.
That's good.
And did I get the information also that there's a deal? He's got a certain deal.
No, the point is that when you serve as Article 71 office holder, when you live in office, you're entitled to some. And sometimes they have a rebate for which you can always buy the official vehicle you were buying at a certain discounted price.
Oh, so maybe he's bought it, even though the project is still ongoing.
It could be that the process is ongoing because that has to be regularized.
Okay, but
because you have to regularize the ownership and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
Maybe I'm thinking too much
But they don't
ahead
take
of
the
myself.
car away from you. I think as a norm, they don't take it away from you. You keep using it.
I may be thinking too much this morning, which is usually not a good thing, but if the electrification project has not ended, why do you sell the vehicle? Just asking. Let me do the Finder. Why are you looking at me like that? The Finder newspaper front page. 424 megawatts from biomass and waste. You can read full details. The story is on page 4. Also, Ruby's cocaine.
That is always advocated by engineer Robert Wood, and he did that on Friday and Monday where we interviewed him for a talk.
Well, Osafo Mafu blames leak tape on insiders. That's the new twist.
It got to be an insider because they were all MPP members at the time.
Well, man 30 claps father to death. It's a shame. But I'm interested in this one. Tomorrow's State of the Nation address. What's new, Mr. President?
The power badges. The power badges from Turkey.
President? That's what the paper is asking. Oh, it's not my big mouth asking the question. It's the paper that find asking. But I guess a lot of us are also wondering, what's new, Mr. President? Like, fix the problem. Don't tell us about it. That's it for the Finder.
Front page of the new statement says government faces court action over oil cash, 3.5 acre warehouse for sale, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, that's an advert. MPP sets the record straight on energy crisis, but we have Yoko probes fraud at Apex Bank as rural community banks face imminent collapse. Down there we have Otumfo involved in Yabredemo. Back page we have the sports minister Mahama Yariga. My buying a club is not conflict of interest according to Mahama Yariga. Clotier assures fans protocol will bounce back, and apparently the World Cup 2022 is set to take place within the winter. That's within the winter for those temperate regions of the world. But for us, will be a period of the setting in of hammer time, so to speak. But after we undertake the tournament, so if we qualify, it means we have to come and play African Cup of Nations thereafter.
Okay.
In January to February. But I think that's okay. Qatar, I'll try and be a Qatar. That will be 2022. I'm sure I would have been able to save enough. So I'm beginning a time, I think, from 2015. We're in 2015, 7-year plan to be able to go.
Let me do that today, newspaper. You're an amazing person.
Yeah,
that's all.
I'm saving.
I want to support my community, says an aspiring assemblyman, and I hope that all the aspiring assemblymen, this would be, you know, your motivation, the fact that you want to support your community. I like the
same person who was having the rap on TV.
No, this one is Michael Ewa. and he is in the Abirim, assemblyman for Abirim in the Eastern North districts of the Eastern region. So quite different from this man who's been telling us what he wants to do. I like him too. Like
the rapper Aziz.
Yeah.
Got something Isa or something else.
Free toilets for old man and woman. No.
I think we have to look for that unscripted and play. We'll play that after here. So yeah. I'm sure Gomez will make it ready.
We will. But I like
Gomez's
that.
First name is Patrick.
Patrick, yes. These are the little things that the communities would need. If they have to go to toilets for free, in whether in the mornings or in the evenings or in the afternoons, that would be a good thing. Yeah. And
so they'll need places of convenience. Is that it?
Yeah, it means that he's going to pay.
And by that
it means that he's going to pay.
And by virtue of that, you provide that you should be voted into office.
Yeah, I would vote for him.
Really?
If I had challenges with it. And then he says, free barber for all students. Yeah, like I like that. And then they'll have to throw their rubbish for free.
Patrick is selling a free barber for children.
See, yeah.
Right. No problem at all.
Okay, but there's a story of interest in the Today newspaper. I have to touch this one. Student health at risk as they have no access to toilets, bathrooms. This isn't good. They don't have access to toilets and bathrooms. It isn't good at all. You can see, because, on the front page of the paper, you see their boxes, the chop boxes also outside. But if they have no bathrooms or toilets, then it would not be surprising that they don't have a place to keep their chop boxes as well. This is a boarding school, Sekwe Jaboso Senior High School. Wow. Yeah. It's a second cycle institution in the Jaboso districts, yes, in the Western region. And this is appalling, even without reading the full details of it. You see that there are towels and there are private, personal belongings all hanging outside. Amazing.
What problems in Ghana?
Are they paying fees, though? Is it a public school?
Definitely don't pay fees.
Because we're building free senior high schools and
So why don't we don't renovate and perhaps make the existing ones bigger?
Exactly.
Expand them. Yeah, that's the right.
That's it. Is it because when you're not in politics or when you're not in government, you see things, as it is, but the moment you get into government, you don't see it anymore?
We're seeing a lot of things different. When you and I are appointed now, we'll change. Is
that it? For real? No, I'm not going to change.
I am not going to
Besides, I'm not going to be appointed anywhere. This is where I am. I'll be here for a very long time.
All right. So that'll be it for the newspapers. Next, we're going to give you detailed sports. We know that Manchester City, they went riot over the weekend, and that was to set the center stage to beat back Barca by 3-0. It didn't happen. They nearly got beaten 3-1 actually at home in the Etihad.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so stay with us. We've got sport, but get interactive. It's facebook.com/Joy News on TV. We will come back after sports, read to you some of the messages that you're sending to us.
In the meantime, though, let's go unscripted with latest aspiring assemblyman.
Please vote for him.
Okay.